Hello everyone, it's Clayton, and I just got out of a Fathom Events screening of The Killing Joke. You know those movies where they seem like the best thing ever and yet the worst thing ever? That's what this felt like to me. Because honestly, I had so many mixed feelings when I was coming out of the theater. It's one of the best Batman movies ever made. It's stupid, it's lame. But the Joker and Batman, best they've ever been. Batgirl, oh my god, you screwed her up so badly. But I'll get to the story. Now, when it comes to The Killing Joke, it's probably one of the most well-known Batman stories ever told, but it's kind of odd turning this into a movie, because the original comic book was a one-shot, 30 to 40 page book that you can probably read in like 15 to 20 minutes tops if you're checking out all the nice artwork. So how do you turn that into a movie? Well, the filmmakers decided to make a 30-minute long prologue regarding Batgirl to elongate the movie from what would initially be 45 minutes to being an hour and 15 minutes. You know, just barely feature length. But despite the fact that the movie's only 75 minutes long, the first 30 minutes seems such an eternity longer than it needs to be, mainly because it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. It meanders way too much in many spots with pointless scenes that don't add to much, and I think it completely ruins Batgirl's character. I'm not going to act like the original Killing Joke treated Batgirl's character that well, but at least you felt sorry for her because she was a real hero before that story, and when, you know, the thing happens to her, you really felt the sense that Joker is a complete monster who was transformed by one bad day, and that Barbara really did not deserve anything that happened. In this movie, you don't really like Barbara at all. She's whiny, she's emotional, she does something with Batman on a rooftop that you've probably heard of, but I couldn't stand it. I mean, take out the fact that Batgirl is way younger than Batman. Take out the fact that Batgirl the actual Barbara Gordon would never do that. Take out the fact that it was obviously just there for fan service. Leave all that alone and just focus on the fact that that portion of the story, the whole 30 minutes of Batgirl going after some criminals obsessed with her, has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. When I was done with the first 30 minutes, I was thinking there's no way this movie can rebound from this. But then the actual Killing Joke portion started and I was hooked. If you're familiar with the Killing Joke story, you probably know the story already, so I'm not even going to waste my time. What do I like about this movie? Well, even though the animation can be a bit choppy at times, and it's not the best work I've seen from the DC animated staff, some sequences were animated freaking beautifully, especially the ones that are taken directly from the comic book. I mean, when it comes to the actual details, they're really, really good. Not only that, but the voice acting is absolutely amazing. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill put on, in my opinion, their best performances ever. And I'm a guy who saw their performances from Batman, the animated series, the Arkham video games, and Mask of the Phantasm, and I still think this is their best work. You can tell why Mark Hamill wanted to do this film for years and years and years, because honestly, it's a marvel to see, if forgive the term. Not only that, but the actual storyline, when it's not focusing on Batgirl, when it's doing the actual stuff from The Killing Joke, when it gets there, it's freaking beautiful. Yes, it's practically the same as you remember it from the comic, but why wouldn't it be? And it's acted so beautifully and shot so well that you don't care. I mean, when it comes to the other characters that aren't Batgirl, they're handled very well. Batman's the same Batman you remember from beforehand, and Kevin Conroy gives the man in the cape and cowl a bunch of personality. The Joker, my god, the Joker. Even though I don't think there's enough of him in this movie, both the Joker from the past and the Joker in the present are portrayed excellently by Mark Hamill. You get to see how the Joker became the Joker, how he'll go as far as he possibly can to prove that one bad day can make anyone insane. And in my opinion, it works even better than it does in the graphic novel, because the voices, the characters, animations, they all convey that sense of insanity that the original comic did so well. I know Alan Moore disowned the story, but he's got to at least be impressed by those things, just like I was. So as you can tell, I'm conflicted with the movie. On one hand, it has some of the best Batman storytelling in a DC, directed DVD film since Batman Under the Red Hood. On the other hand, the way it handles Batgirl is one of the worst uses of Batgirl I've seen in eons. I mean, and there is an after credits scene which I actually did like. So so you should definitely stay for that. Or if you buy it on DVD, just wait for the credits to get to a midway point. So if you're wondering, did I like this movie or not? I'm thinking it's not amazing in some places, but in other places it's awesome, and in other places it's bad. But I'm glad I saw it. If you just want to see an animated interpretation of The Killing Joke, you'll get it. It's just you have to wait a while after the opening credits. It's still got some incredible scenes and one killer musical number to the point where I'm not going to say you should not see it. So in a weird sort of way, I didn't like 2/5 of the movie, but I liked the other 3/5 so much that I still sort of recommend it. Because the action sequences are so great, the music's so awesome, and because The Killing Joke finally got the adaptation it deserves, with one part that should be skipped in the DVD release. So I understand my opinion's all over the map, but then again, the movie's all over the map. So I guess it comes around full circle. I give Batman The Killing Joke an 8 out of 10, with only 2 points taken off for the Batgirl segment because the majority of the film is handled insanely well. Pun intended, of course.